I recently did a video where I showed taking St. Augustine grass runners, cutting them, and planting them in my yard, trying to cover up my bare spots. That video is linked here. Now, where I didn't have very much success on that video, one thing worked out very well is that I got a lot of comments and advice from viewers on how to do it better. So today we're going to take that advice that we got and try to do a little bit better. Before shooting this video, I went ahead and tested this to make sure it actually worked, and here are the results. After about 2 weeks, the grass is actually taking 100%. If you saw my other video by this time, most of it was actually dead. This time I've had 100% success. Every single runner that I planted is thriving and doing well. I planted more over here. This is a bare spot that I've had for a while under my banana trees, and I really want to make it look better. So this is here just showing that we had success, and now I'm going to show you how we did it. First thing, we're going to come and we're going to find our runners that need to be cut. I choose these by the ones that are not directly going into the ground, so they're not being useful to me because they're just staying on. They're not growing roots and going to the ground. Some of these here are actually stuck to the ground more. They will actually start rooting in where they're at. These are not going to, so we cut these off. This one is about halfway working. We'll take that off. I only want a handful here. Don't want too many at one time. So let's just get a few. Okay. Now that we have our runners, let's go to the next step. So the advice I was given was to actually soak the runners in water so they would get their own roots before planting them. This makes a ton of sense, and I'm not really sure why I didn't think about it. So what I did here was after I planted those other grass runners about 2 weeks ago, I actually put more in so you could see here the roots that they have. So before we put our new runners in the water, first let's look at the runners that have been sitting here for about 2 weeks. Now, I did add water to this every day when I'm watering as I normally do, because the water does evaporate a lot. Now, this does get some direct sun, but not too much. I wanted to leave this outside in the natural elements because the grass is already used to that. I don't want to bring it inside or anywhere else because then it would have basically transplant shock in a different environment. Now, what we have here are beautiful roots. You see here that a ton of these have really nice, really pretty white roots. And that's the reason why this works, is that we're actually planting these roots then in the ground. And this really was simple. Now, all we're going to do is we're going to cut our runners to size to make sure none of them are too large to fit in here, and then place them all in here. We want to try to get it to where they're hopefully in the water as much as possible. If there are any that look like they already have roots starting to grow, we want to make sure that part is touching the water. These here have little roots here starting to grow, have roots up here starting to grow. These long ones we can cut shorter, no issues there. So we're going to cut this shorter. This is the main reason I did not get more than just a handful of runners, because so many of these we're actually going to cut and make them a lot shorter because they are so long. Okay, last step is that we are going to dig little trenches where we're going to put our grass. We will plant them, and then after that we will water everything in and then wait. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick out the ones with the nicest roots. Not everyone is going to root perfectly, but that's perfectly fine. We're just going to pick the ones with the nicest roots and plant those. We have so much grass that we're not worried about that. Okay. Ooh, that's a really good one. This one is by far the best. Sadly, the camera cut out, so it did not capture me actually planting all of the grass, but you see here now that it's done. Now, a couple of things that was missed was when I was actually doing these, I was explaining that you see some of these here where the stem is actually completely buried. I did that because the grass was not wanting to actually stay on the top of the soil. Now, one thing a viewer did advise, which is a phenomenal idea, is that you use paper clips to hold it down, to hold the stem down, so that you can only have the roots buried. That's really what you want to do. Sadly, I don't have any paper clips, so I guess I could have bought some online, but I wanted to go ahead and do this now. So that would have been a better solution. I do have some grass over here where you see I have the stem completely buried and the grass is still doing very well, no issues, but I would understand where that could lead to rot. So if you had a paper clip and you just pin it down to the ground, that would definitely be the best method to use. Now we're going to come back and you want to water it every single day to make sure it takes. This spot here, because it has no grass currently, really dries out during the day. So I make sure I water it every single day. Okay, now that we got all this grass planted and watered really well, we will come back in 2 weeks to see how it's doing. It's been 2 weeks and the grass looks awesome.
Hey everybody! Everybody! I want to tell you what I can do. The song was I heard it.
Finally, we have a method to successfully plant St. Augustine grass runners, and this is definitely 100% success. Every single runner that we planted is doing really well. Not a single one is dying. All of them are doing great. I'm glad that we finally have a solution for this, and I really am pleased with the results, and hopefully some of y'all will try this and let me know how it goes. All right, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a good day.